Hello and welcome to another episode of Executive Insights. My name is Pether. I am the founder and the CEO of PeopleSmartSAS. In this episode, I would like to say a few words on the topic of feedback culture, an increasingly popular request over the last 12 to 18 months from our clients and from organizations that we work very closely with. So feedback culture, what is that? It's an organizational culture whereby feedback is shared, given, solicited in all directions. So top down, bottom up, across the organization, between colleagues, between departments, between teams, with very different functional backgrounds and organizational objectives. But ultimately, an organizational culture whereby feedback is just so much the norm, and you're constantly given the opportunity to grow and evolve on a day-to-day basis. Clearly, very many benefits in relation to that. Those are, just to name a few, an increased level of motivation, an increased level of engagement for employees in relation to the organizational goals. I would say better communication lines, improved trust, enhanced relationships, and generally knowledge that is spread more easily within the organization, knowledge that is potentially critical for employees to do their job effectively. How do you do it? I think it's important to ensure that the employee voice is at the very center. I am a strong believer that formal training, training opportunities, learning opportunities to know how to give but also receive feedback are given to people so they are comfortable and understand how they can do that effectively together. Acting on the feedback, I think, is very important. If someone has given you feedback and given you feedback and given you feedback, and there's never any improvement or at least a desire to make progress, that is not going to encourage people to continue to do so. And employee surveys, many organizations do this, are also a wonderful opportunity to enhance this more holistic feedback culture that you're building for your organization. The one thing I would add to all of that is that it is important to be sensitive to cultural differences. There is a very well-known author within this space on cultural differences. Her name is Erin Meyer, and she will talk to some of the things like direct and indirect communication when it comes to cultural differences, or hierarchical cultures versus egalitarian cultures, and such like. And I think those are also considerations that we need to build into feedback processes, but also generally in terms of feedback culture of an organization. So if you want to move from what I would describe as a more fragile feedback culture through to a more progressing feedback culture, and up there amongst the best, which is a more resilient feedback culture, then by all means reach out. We're very happy to have a conversation with you. There is a lot of work to be done in this area still, despite the fact that feedback as such has been around for a very long time. So the question for me is feedback culture part of your company's DNA? And if not, why not? And are you a culture of feedback where differences in cultures and cultural diversity are also considered and could potentially play a very huge part in making your feedback culture effective? So it only goes for me to say thank you very much for listening as usual. Be well, be safe, and see you very soon. Take care.